Well, good morning, everybody, and happy hump day. Not for you, OJ. Get down. Come on. I don't need your help right now. Sorry about that. It's a live show, and my cat thinks he is part of it. I'm going to start all over. Good morning, everyone, and happy hump day. I knew that there was going to be a motion hearing yesterday for La Lazy, as Cat calls her. Wasn't expecting to read what I read. We've been talking about the case of Quinton Simmon since the day after he went missing. As you know, on this channel, I will beat a dead horse. We follow everything to the end. It does make me wonder, where's all the peeps that were screaming for justice, evidence, and proof? Where are they right now? Because it's slowly but surely trickling out. And what came out yesterday was beyond what I could even imagine. Don't even want to think about it. What the hell's going on? I had a few messages overnight. It seems that my show about Sebastian hit a raw nerve with a few people. And they said, I just need a break from true crime. I don't know what's going on. It's just too dark. It's too dark for me. And sometimes the things you say really upset me. Did you really need to message me at 1:13 in the morning to tell me that what I talk about on this channel is dark? This is not Airport Brooks. You don't ever need to report your departure. You can easily say, hey, if you don't see me around for a while, it's just because that case is too much for me. It hits home a little different. Something like that. But the name of the show is Crime, Lines, and Lies. I don't know how to make crime pretty, but I know we have pretty damn good friends that can have amazing discussions and keep it out there. Just because an arrest has been made does not mean that the case is over. No, 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 no. This is not a movie. This is not Netflix. No, it's not. These are horrific things that have happened to real people. Glow with the glow. Look at that. Glow with the glow said, hello, my first time here. Well, welcome. Sorry, your first time coming here, you had to hear me go on a rant about people that would rather me talk about growing radishes or doing a damn cooking channel or ripping on prayer garden. I don't have time for all that shit. But I'm so glad you are here. Team Dasidu said, I received a message at 3:34 a.m. from a title company. How rude. Same as the sub. Don't even like the word sub, but yeah, it's pretty damn rude of your title company to do that. We're all mad here. Has been a member for 10 months. She said, just say bye, Felicia. Well, I won't say that because sometimes people just want to vent and they want to talk about what they're going through and they just say, too much for me. But it's okay. Just say, I'll be back when I can be back. What I want to know is, where is everyone else since this information came out yesterday? They going to talk about Quinton for 30 seconds in a show? Not my problem, not my business. But I do know what is my business. And that is my friends are here. And I'm your friend too. OJ is being somewhat okay. He's in there eating chicken right now. And it is Wednesday. It is hump day. And you know what that means.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
It's hump day. It's hump day. And instead of the normal, well, I shouldn't say normal, because we're not normal around here. I mean, after all, it is 9:08 a.m. Central Time, and we're talking about true crime, a case that people they're not concerned about anymore. But all of you are, because you're here for the right reasons. You see, when the pot is simmering, people want to watch it. But once it's boiled over and Lady Justice has the reins, they go away. We have seen it in case after case after case after case, and that's okay. That's why we're all friends here. All right. We wear pink. Our amazing friend Kat sent this morning. This is Mean Girls if you're British.
Oh my god, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Tesco's.
Why don't I know you?
Fuck knows why.
So you've actually never been to a real school before?
No, never.
You think you're really pretty.
A little bit, I suppose.
Why are you white?
What the fuck?
Could you give us some privacy for like 1 second?
What were you natter about?
We want to invite you to have lunch with us every day for the rest of the week.
Well, you can if you want. I'm probably just gonna head back.
So we'll see you tomorrow.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
No. Not really my sort of thing.
That
Oh my god, I love your bracelet.
damn hilarious. If the Mean Girls were British, I cracked up. But we do have some new friends and faces in here and some friends we haven't seen in a while. You'll have to walk everybody through everything because they want to know what BBU stands for and a few other things. Kimberly, exactly. That was my favorite part. Not really my sort of thing. Not really my sort of thing. I died laughing. Let's just go ahead and tell everyone hello. And here we are. We're back. So glad hopefully everyone's been told hi. Recognize all the mean girls are here, sitting at the table. Damien's here. Damien's going to be the one with the hoodie saying, she doesn't go here. Love you, Damien. All right, yesterday, Leilanis, a Chatham County mother, I wouldn't call her a mother, accused of murder in the death of her toddler, Quinton Simmon, appeared in her first motion hearing of the year on Tuesday. That means there are going to be more. I'm glad they're letting her just sit because we're almost to the end of March. Just let her sit. This was a routine hearing to determine if the defense and prosecutor have everything they need going to trial. But voila, they don't. The defense also noted that Leilanis refuses to testify on her behalf. Now, before I get to the rest of the article, I want to talk about that. This is very important. And we're going to discuss it again. This is what Leilanis said when she was supposedly worried about her son Quinton's whereabouts, and how she said if she is responsible, she will take herself down to the police station. And that never happened either. Listen to this ratchet woman.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they
Shut the front door, you professional leg spreader. What do you mean? If I'm responsible, I'll take myself down there. Back to the article. She refuses to testify on her own behalf. Don't you have something to say since you said he was abducted? Don't you have something to say since you said Bubba took him? Don't you have anything to say on your own behalf? The prosecutors did. They said they're not quite ready for trial. The prosecutors told Judge Tammy Stokes that the final evidence they are waiting for in order to begin trial was forensic toxicology tests of Quinton's pillowcase and pajamas for apparent brain matter. They hope the results from the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia, will be in by May 1st. While the Chatham County Court plans to transition to a new location, Judge Stokes reassured the court the move will not affect the case. Now, what little bit of research I could do on this, and if you have followed this case, remember, you need a refresher. As you know, after they drained the swimming pool, the fire department did, the FBI forensics came in. They took many items out of the house. They taped off the windows. They did the luminol, everything you see on TV and more. There was an object they spoke about. That I believe is what she used Leilani to beat him to death. This is not a standardized test. None of them are. None are. You think I'm going to set a lab up in my garage and OJ and I are going to run through DNA strands? No. But when you're testing for brain matter, we have a problem. Danny described how Quinton was sleeping in his pack and play. How Danny and the brother Paul did not hear this beating, I will never know. I will never know. The way he was laying in his little jammies, confirmed. On his little pillowcase, confirmed. He believed he was asleep. Hence why he was very surprised when he found out later that Leilanis used his phone to text the babysitter to say they don't need her that day. He didn't know about that until law enforcement confronted him. The message was deleted. They had to retrieve it. We saw that in another case, the Madeline Soto case. I don't know how she had things tucked around little Quinton's head. I don't know. I wasn't there. It will come out in trial. Then after Danny went to work, allegedly, Leilanis bagged up Quinton, and put him in a dumpster at a trailer park. So when people say, and no, not around here, we know these things take a long time. Because don't get me wrong, there's going to be a few internet geniuses that weigh in on this and say, it can't be too long to prove that there's brain matter on the pillow or the pillowcase or any brain matter on the pajamas. My cousin Earl could tell you that. Yeah, I know, because he watched a TV show like 3 weeks back on Hulu, and he can tell you exactly how it's done. It only takes about 10 minutes, but they're saying it's going to take until May 1st by the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. It's not how it works. This is a totally different test. The prosecutors told Judge Tammy Stokes that the final evidence they are waiting for to begin trial is forensic toxicology tests of Quinton's pillowcase and pajamas for apparent brain matter. It's not a fishing expedition, they said, apparent. That means what little bit of baby Quinton Simmon they have been able to put together, they know that he suffered a horrible, horrible head injury. Imagine, just imagine the hatred that Leilanis had for her little boy. Just think about it. You know, Leilanis, she got her GED while she was in jail. Look at her. Look at her holding her diploma. Look at her with her jail shoes on, holding up her GED diploma. I don't care who has a GED and who doesn't. She got it in jail, just like Adam Montgomery. I'm not bashing anyone with a GED. That's not what this is about. You know what Billy said? Her mother, Billy Jo Howe, I'm so glad she's finally getting her life on track. Billy, she's in jail for murder. Not just any old random murder, as if there is such a thing. She's in jail for the murder of your grandson. But she's in a class all her own, to be quite honest. Well, she's actually got a totally different graduating class. She is one of many, I can only squeeze so many into the video, of murderous moms. Quinton never got to go to school. But Billy Joe said, so proud of Leilani. She's finally getting her life on track. She's in jail, you idiot. She's in jail. And you had a hand in it, Billy. I'm not going to rag on Billy too much right off the bat because you understand the toxicity in the home that, yes, they have sold. They sold the home for $400,000. So Tommy made quite the profit off that home because he didn't buy it for $400,000. But to understand the toxicity between Leilanis and Billy Ho, you have to understand the timeline of events. And this is just a small snippet of it.
20 months old, Quinton Simmon hasn't been seen for 60 hours. In those moments, we have...
Okay, obviously, this is a really old clip. This was right off the bat when Brett Buffington was digging into everything that was going on. Billy trying to evict Leilanis, trying to evict Danny, even Zane and Quinton, who she had permanent guardianship of. She wanted them all gone because she said she didn't have a moment's rest. She says that she did not do that. That's what she said. But this is her own handwritten statement. She said, I'm not looking to be compensated. Just want them to move out as quick as possible. Leilani Simmon is my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace. It says, how much past due rent are you seeking? She said, not looking to be compensated. Just want them to move out as quick as possible. Some people will still argue that she was only talking about Leilanis and Dickwad Danny. No, she wanted them all gone.
Told you a lot about the search to find him, but to tell you about the environment he was living in, we have to back up weeks. September 7th, police were called to Quinton's grandparents' home, where Quinton, his mother, her boyfriend, 2 other children, and the grandparents live. There was a fight, this police report says, there was a fight.
Quinton, who allegedly has been murdered by his egg donor, Leilanis, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, 2 other children. So she has an older child, and then she had a baby with Daniel. Then Thomas Howell, who would be Leilanis' stepfather, and Billy Joe, who's a real Ma Barker. Because how many toxic children can you raise? You got 2 Billy Joe in jail for murder. Did you have ample warning that there might be an issue with Leilanis? State of Georgia gave you ample warning. They gave you permanent guardianship, Billy Joe. The maternal grandmother has a permanent guardianship order as to the child Zane. Now, this was served to Billy Joe after the FBI already determined that Quinton was no longer of this planet. So this was about Zane. You can't have permanent guardianship of a child that's in a landfill. The maternal grandmother failed to provide adequate supervision for the child Zane by leaving the child Zane in the home in the care of the mother, a person the maternal grandmother knew or should have known was unfit to provide proper care, while the maternal grandmother traveled out of state. Because they knew Zane was present during the horrific murder of his little brother, little Quinton Simmon.
Right. This police report says between Quinton's mom, Leilani Simon, and her mother, Billy Joe Howell. Leilani called the cops on her mom. When officers showed up, she told them she was on probation and didn't want trouble. We don't know what that probation is.
She's on probation and didn't want any trouble. Brett Buffington says, we don't know what the probation was about. Easy. She stole cigarettes, popcorn, and lemonade from a Love's truck stop. How low you gotta be to steal your lemonade, your popcorn, and your smokes from your employer? That is insane. Tell you what else is insane. Look at this. Just Cat said, love you, Brooks and OJ. Justice for Quinton. Thank you for the super sticker. Katie did. Member for 21 months. We're all mad here has been a member for 10 months. Amy in Boston making it rain. She gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Kimberly Mann gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. And Hey Jude is gifting as well. Tell you what, y'all. Time to play the music. Right or crime, that's what we say. Seriously, that was her probation. I'm on probation. I don't want any trouble.
Is for. The report says when police officers talked with Leilani's brother, he told them that Quinton's mom had a history of stealing and used the money to buy drugs.
Well, Paul, who'da thunk it? You're telling me Leilanis is stealing money from people to buy drugs? We know she crawled into a trailer and broke into someone's pig bank. While Diana was watching the children, she'd go down to the convenience store and stand outside and act like she was homeless. Yet Paul was home, playing video games, listening to his music, had the TV up, I don't know. during the murder of his nephew, Quinton Simmon.
A day later, September 8th, Billy Joe Howell wanted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend out. She filed for eviction. According to the document, she didn't want any money. She just wanted her 22-year-old daughter, Leilani, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, and the 3 kids to leave quickly. Here's where the grandmother wrote it. They damaged her property, and no one is living in peace. September 16th, Leilani and Daniel found out about the eviction, but we now know as recently as last Wednesday, the two were still living here. That gets us to Wednesday, the morning little Quinton was last seen. At 5:29 a.m., babysitter Diana McCarta got a text message. She told us it was from Quinton's mom, saying Diana didn't have to watch the kids today. Police told us the boyfriend, who we now know is Daniel Youngkin, left for work at 6 a.m. Police say that's the last time Quinton was seen. 9 a.m., another text message to babysitter Diana, this time from a grandparent, asking if Diana had seen the toddler. The 911 call 42 minutes later at 9:42 a.m. The WSAV investigative unit has asked Chatham County Police for that call. So far, they haven't answered our request. We know from the family, Leilani told police that Quinton's father took the child. The family said that story didn't make sense. And by 2:30 that afternoon, police said the father wasn't involved. By Wednesday night, the effort to find Quinton involved the FBI, 2 helicopters, a drone, police on horses, tracking dogs, and officers going door to door. Thursday, we watched federal agents search dumpsters, ditches, drain pipes, and the woods.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, they did. And Tommy, Leilani's stepfather, Quinton Simmon's grandfather, steppapa, is talking about his missing grandson only to News 3. He thanked the people who came to help search, but says something here isn't adding up. Well, what would it be? You already know you haven't seen Bubba for more than a minute. You already know that. You already know Billy wasn't supposed to leave Leilani alone with Quinton and Zane. You also know they're known liars. You also know that when the fire department came to drain your swimming pool, Billy posted this: do I have any friends that could help me fix the pool or that can guide me on doing the work myself? You want to go take a dip in the pool? Knowing your little grandson is missing? At the time, that's all we knew. But now we know that a lab in Quantico, Virginia is analyzing his little pajamas and his pillowcase for brain matter. We also know that he was found in a landfill. Little by little, disturbing details about Quinton Simmon's demise have come out. But Billy Joe's priorities will never be straight. They'll never be on the up and up. Billy is always going to be the pat herself on the back type of person. Look at me. I was out of town working. I've got to take care of all these kids. You didn't have to have Leilani there. You didn't have to have Danny there. They're your party friends, Billy. You party with them. You lost Kelsey and Leilani many times. Just like your son, Quinton, who's in jail for murder, for killing one of your boyfriends. Just like your son, Paul. Your kids are your friends.
Tonight, disturbing new details revealed about the death of Quinton Simmon. The prosecutor is officially responding to the defense attorney's motions to throw out parts of that indictment. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole has been following the story since the very beginning, joining us now in the studio with the very latest. And Andy, she wants some charges thrown out.
Greg, that's right. Back in March, the defense tried to throw out 3 murder charges and 4 of the false statement charges. They did it by filing 2 demurs. Today, the state responded to those claims, sharing new details about Quinton's gruesome demise.
For the first time, we're learning more about the final moments of 20-month-old Quinton Simmon's life. In the response to Leilani Simon's special demur, the state outlined what happened after Leilani allegedly threw Quinton's body into a trailer park dumpster. Hours after throwing Quinton's body away, a garbage truck came, lifted the trash, and dumped it into a compactor inside the truck. When the load arrives at the landfill, it's dumped on the ground and a bulldozer shoves the garbage 300 feet into different cells. Quote, "This is not a neat process," prosecutors write in their response. They say it requires
Okay. Sorry to pause it right there. They went through and analyzed over 1 million pounds of trash. Think about what we throw away. And I don't mean at Christmas time. I don't mean tissue paper, cardboard boxes. I mean day to day. Think about what we throw away. They sifted through over 1 million pounds. They found a baby tooth. Found a little finger. They said it's not a neat process. Of course not, because it's going to the dump. He was compacted. I can't even tell you how many times between leaving the trailer park dumpster and getting to the landfill. That's a monstrous thing to do. Horrible enough what she did before. But then on top of that, I don't know the word for it. I mean, we've heard of insult to injury, but this is not even an injury. This is a horrific, horrific death. Absolutely crazy. And this is Leilani. Look at her. Oh, I got my GED. In the jail. Look at me. I'm their best student. Then soak in the scene from behind her. Wow. Wow. All right, I'm going to play the music. Emma's a new member. Journey to Justice is buying memberships. Thank you so much. Let's play the music. Lighten the mood.
Hallelujah, it's raining.
Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are the channel. You are what keeps our channel going. You are the channel, not me. Nope, not me. So you look at that landfill, and I'm flashing back to when these experts, these searchers, because remember, they're going through trash. I'm not calling Quinton trash. Not calling Quinton trash. You know what I'm saying? It's been compacted. It's been bulldozed over. Some of this equipment is like 150 tons to push it into the earth. They had quite a job to do. You know, people had the gall to say, I can't believe they're taking the weekend off. I can't believe that they're going back to their hotel tonight. What do you mean they're not searching today? That's the reason I love hanging with you guys, because you have common sense. We knew the minute they went to the landfill, they weren't going to find Quinton running around in the landfill. Just to find a finger, fragments of bone, and a little baby tooth, well, that was God's work.
Multiple sweeps by the bulldozers that shove, spread, and smear the content. It requires multiple sweeps by the bulldozers that shove, spread, and smear the contents. Once at the cell, prosecutors say Quinton's body was then compacted again by a 50-ton steamroller. Quote, all of which is to say Quinton's body went through
a 50-ton steamroller went over him. And now we're waiting on forensics to test for brain matter on his little baby pajamas in his pillowcase.
lot. By the time the expert searchers found him, after looking for more than a month, his body had undergone severe trauma and decomposition. And it wasn't in just one place. Prosecutors say he was dispersed across the landfill. Quote, a bone here, a tissue there. The basis of
This is triggering, and I'm sorry. By the time they rolled over and rolled over and rolled over him, not knowing there's a little baby boy out there in the landfill. Imagine being the people that work for waste management in Savannah, Georgia, just doing their job. Let's think about that. They're just doing their job. They have different homes. Okay, like when the trash truck picks up here and they go to the waste disposal site, the landfill, as they call it. Every truck is tracked. So they knew where that dumpster, what truck it goes to, and where it's going to unload, where it's going to dump. So they had to sort all the trash out to go through it to find a bone here and a bit of a tissue there. A little baby tooth, a little baby finger.
tissue there. The basis of Leilani's demurrer for the murder charges is that the state wasn't specific enough in their indictment, but the state argues that an indictment can only be as specific as the evidence. With his body in pieces, prosecutors admit no cause of death has been determined or likely ever will.
But they said unlikely ever will. Get real. Because now we have heard that they are waiting on more forensics to come back on his pajamas and his pillowcase. We have a question from our new member, Emma. She said, where's the member stuff, this channel or another? I'm sorry, I'm new to this. Okay, if you go to the community tab, where it's green, there's many posts that are for members only. And then we have lives that are just for members. And it'll say members only. If you need any help, send me an email and I'll walk you through it. It'll take me 2 whole seconds. And I'm so glad you're here. So, with everything that we know now, and we only know the tip of the iceberg, sadly, okay? We only know the tip of the iceberg. Because what is being put out little bit here and there is not everything we're going to hear when they have the trial. This is what was reported to the police. When Diana, the babysitter, and we'll get to her in a second, she's not a big fan of mine. That's all right. I'm not a big fan of hers. But today's show is not about her. She forced Leilani to call the police. And this is what was reported.
Well, happening right now, dozens of local and federal agents are combing through our area for this little boy missing since Wednesday. We're talking about 20-month-old Quinton Simmon.
We want to get right out to our Nakaya Carrero now live at the Chatham County Police headquarters. Nakaya, talk us through the new updates that you have this morning.
Frank, Olivia, for the very first time since Quinton Simmon was reported missing, we are hearing what 911 dispatchers told police officers the morning he disappeared.
We have a signal 56. Complaint about her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open, but he's unable to open the door. I think someone came in and took him.
She woke up and her door was open. Well, then how come Zane wasn't outside playing? We know this didn't happen. It's all lies. All lies. He was laying in his pack and play on his little pillow in his jammies, not the ones that are on the screen right now. Danny has described to several people the way he was laying. He didn't think anything of it. He thought he was asleep. He didn't know, as far as I know, unless he took a big old fat proffer agreement, that he'd been beat in the head. She didn't wake up and there was no door open. No door was open. None. Because another brother who spoke out, he went through the ADT app. No door had been open. None. The last time a door had been open is when Danny left to go to work. She lied again.
Another update this morning, Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley is now saying they're looking into everybody and everything, making the first mention of a potential criminal case.
We're looking at it from multiple fronts, and one of it being a criminal investigation, as well as
Plaintiff as her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open, but as in he's unable to open a door, saying someone came in and took him.
Just wait till the trial when we have to hear the entire 911 call. When you hear Leilanis on the other end, Sue Animal Lover said, "Where is Leilani's mom now?" Leilani's mom and stepdad sold the home, and they have moved. I've heard they're in the panhandle of Florida, and I've heard they're in South Carolina. I don't know. No idea at all. But the babysitter did make Leilani call the police. Bamacat, do they have a trial date set yet? No. They are waiting on the evidence to come back from Quinton's pajamas and pillowcase for brain matter.
About how this morning played out with this family and the babysitter who was originally supposed to be at this home this morning. News 3 Brian Gallagher also here with me at this scene tonight with those details.
Thank you, Brett. Earlier tonight, I talked with the toddler's babysitter. She is sharing her concerns tonight. It's an interview you will only see on WSAV News 3.
I am been keeping Quinton and Zane for 6 months. I kept them yesterday, and they went home last night.
Diana McCarta says she babysits little Quinton and his siblings and was supposed to watch them this morning. She says she was confused as to why plans would change so suddenly.
I got a text this morning saying that they would not be here. I would not be babysitting them at 5:29, which was kind of odd because I have them even when she doesn't work.
30 minutes later, 6 a.m. was the last reported sighting of Quinton.
Of course you have them even when she doesn't work, because for one, Leilani doesn't have a job. 2, she doesn't have any plans for quality time to spend with her children. And 3, it's hard to go panhandle for money to get drugs if you got your kids in tow. Even the stupidest, if that's even a word, detective would pick up on that. It's a little hard to get your groove on when the kids are all around.
According to police, Diana says other family members asked her where Quinton might be.
And then I get a text at 9 o'clock saying, "Have I seen Quinton?" I immediately go to their house. I try to help them look. They didn't want that. So I've just been waiting around like everybody else.
Diana and other neighbors are shocked by the news and wonder what could have happened to little Quinton.
My heart is broken. I'm not his mother, I'm not his family, but I love him very much. And I just don't know what could happen. The police did a really good job of looking. And where does a 1-year-old go? They've covered a lot of ground.
Again, we will continue to update you with.
Well, a 1-year-old, almost 2 at the time, doesn't go to the landfill. No, there's no teeter-totters, slides, and swings and Happy Meals there. That's ridiculous. And when the babysitter saw all of those disturbing marks, considering she had the kids throughout the day, Zane and Quinton, she could have called 911 on her own and had them come over and look at the children. Not say, oh, well, I called CPS and I told them to go to the house. No, that's an emergency situation. If not, babysitter, if any of you take care of children inside your home or you work in a daycare, if you see unusual marks on a child, you need a damn police report. If not, it can be blamed on you. What did she do? She told Billy about it. Billy said, I'll take care of it. That's Billy's answer to everything. I'll take care of it. Well, Billy didn't have much to say until she saw the babysitter on the news and started sending her crazy ass messages, one after another, about how she was owed for a size 4X bathing suit and water park tickets. I have all those messages because Diana sent them to me. She wanted all her money back. Now, mind you, Quinton is missing. Quinton is missing. She was furious that Diana was on the news telling the story. She had already told Diana she'll take care of it. How are you going to take care of it? So she gets herself on the TV.
We both left right then. I got here about 3 o'clock yesterday.
And I got here about 3:30 in the morning.
It's been crazy. I mean, we don't know nothing. Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear. We just want to know something. My concern is him. And that's all it is. I mean, we concerned with his well-being.
I know everybody worked really hard yesterday, but
And
I want them to keep working hard.
And we appreciate everything that everybody has done, all the people that's come out and searched for him and all that. And he's always smiling. He's a happy kid. I mean, you get some kids but he always had a big smile on his face, and he was always happy.
Let me ask you, why are you getting emotional?
Because he's not here. He's just a baby. And I want him home. He's just a baby.
And I'm going to say this right now, and I mean it 100%. I do not believe for a minute that Billy or Tommy had anything to do with Quinton's murder. I don't believe either of them were home at the time, like some people say. They were not. I don't believe they would kill a child. But I do believe that Billy is so narcissistic that she dangles the house, the food, the money. I have guardianship, thinking she can get all of her bad parenting decisions somehow made right. Because we have to admit, she didn't raise Leilani right. So if she holds this carrot over her head, you can live with me as long as you do this. Well, I'm only going to give you money as long as you do this. Well, I'm not going to tell CPS as long as you do this. But it all fell apart on her. And in this interview, look at her face. She already knew. She already knew.
Leilani's my daughter. She's 22. She hasn't always done the right things. Sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't. And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them. I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't. I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want
He's
answers,
my
and
baby.
we don't have answers.
Just
No,
thank
not
you
right
to
now.
everybody
Thank
that's helped.
Thank
and,
you for everybody that's looked for him,
and please don't stop looking.
yeah, like I said, we want answers. We want to find him. That's the answer we want. Is somebody found him. You know, we're still hoping and praying, and we wish everybody to pray for him. Pray for us.
Yes.
She had a good inkling. She had a good suspicion that her daughter, with all, we saw the timeline of all the stuff that had been going on in the house. She had permanent guardianship. Billy did. If you get permanent guardianship, no one else is supposed to be around the child unless they're supervised. You need a babysitter because you're going to the casino one night. The babysitter can't be the person that the courts have said is unfit to be around their own child. Mama Bear said, I don't think Billy had anything to do with what happened to the baby, but she sure covered up for her daughter. Oh, she did. She misses Leilani. Don't think for a second she doesn't. They were thick as thieves. They were outside partying. They were so paranoid that the FBI had wiretapped the house. They were outside partying. They said too many memories inside the house. Well, what are you going to do when it rains? What are you, a chicken? That jaw grinding back and forth and going crazy? Looking up at the sky, looking this way, looking that way. But she was big, big, big mad at Diana. I mean, she was about to lose her shit, and she did. Because she stormed into her house when Diana, the babysitter, she was already mad that Diana was on the news and told people the truth about the text messages. And that will be proven in court. I've spoken to Diana several times. They have her phone. They have verified where it came from. They have verified that on the other end, that the device that sent her the text message saying, hey, we don't need you today. We're just going to have a family day. That message was deleted. They have all that. She went on the news and she told what she knew in order to help Quinton. Should she have done a little more before all of this? I would say yes, but I'm also not in her shoes.
Don't put nothing in your yard. This is my baby, not yours. That's your right, that's my baby. I touched you and I told you I was going to. I'm the nails my phone. You need to go get it.
Okay, Billy. Oh, Billy. This is my baby, not yours. He's your grandson. He is your daughter and Bubba's baby. And what set Billy off? One, she spoke to the news, the babysitter did. Told him exactly what she had been told the morning of his disappearance. Murder. And she was mad that she was going to pass out flyers and have a prayer vigil. That's what upset her.
This is my baby, not yours. That's your right, that's my baby. I touched you and I told you I was going to. I'm the nails my phone. You need to go get it. I text you. I text you over and over again. forgot it for you, you bitch. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family, your entire family. I didn't ask you. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't
Good.
take my phone.
Good. You were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media.
She said, I begged you to help. I begged you to help. The person that is filming this is Diana's teenage daughter. She said, I begged you to help. You need to work out of town. You need to have somebody to watch the kids. They're not in school yet. I begged you to help, she said.
I forgot it for you, you bitch. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family, your entire family. I didn't ask you. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't
Good.
take my phone.
Good. You were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media. I begged you to help. Oh yeah, and I begged you to help. I said, hey Michelle, please get the kids. You're a liar. Take them. I'll give you 300 a week. I'm about to put it all over. I'm a liar. I'm about to put it all over. Good. Good, because you're awful to say you're going to put a memorial. My baby's not dead. You are a liar. My baby's not dead. My baby's not dead. You're a liar. You're a liar. No, you are. You are. My baby's not dead. I thought you was a woman of God. That. I thought you were a woman of God. You got Quinton? Do you have Quinton? I don't have Quinton. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You got him. Okay. You got him. Well, I'm about to call the police. You're the only one that can go in my house and take him. Your kids go in my house and take him all the time. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We did not go in her house.
Oh, it's going to be. Oh, yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, baby, we need to look at the green card. Yeah, we do.
I thought you were a woman of God. She watched Zane, Quinton, and Sky for peanuts. I mean, next to nothing. Billy had already lost custody of all her children back in the day. Now they're all grown up. She's got one in jail, one living with her with 3 babies. And she thinks Diana is going to fix everything for her? How much do you all pay for daycare? I remember how much I used to pay. And Leilani is broke as a joke. Leilani could have easily gotten state daycare and gone to work. You know, God forbid, she rolls out of bed, like say, let's say 6:30 a.m. Gives the kids breakfast, washes her ass, makes herself look a little presentable, takes the kids to daycare, goes to work, wherever. I'm not saying she's got to work in some high rise and be the CEO. Then when the 8 and skate is done, pick up the kids and come home. And guess what? Feed them, play with them, talk to them. But you've got money for drugs. But proper daycare is way outside of your realm. Got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Well, Billy's problems didn't get any easier because when Chief Hadley announced to everyone that they believe that Quinton is deceased, and that Leilanis is their prime suspect, protesters came down. Now, I'm going to say this right now. The chief had it under control from the get. And you can't paint everybody with the same paintbrush. There were people that were standing out there. They didn't have the nerve to go outside in front of his office or outside in front of the courthouse. They wanted to be outside of Billy Ho's house. That house has recently been sold. Wanting them to hurry up the process. Hurry it up. They were saying these are the type of people that killed George Floyd. What? The hell are you talking about? He was waiting on the district attorney, the prosecuting attorney, to pick up the charges. You know, if you ever ran track and you pass the baton, it's the same way in law enforcement. You all know that. You pass the baton to the next one, then the next one, then the next one. He was waiting on the DA to grab the baton, but she wasn't ready. She wanted to find Quinton. They knew where Leilanis was. They knew where she was. Because when you start the clock, it works against Lady Justice. We have a certain system in America, even though some people don't like it. But it is what we have.
Coverage now, dozens of FBI agents and police officers are still picking through the Chatham County landfill looking for the remains of little Quinton Simmon. The child was first reported missing earlier this month. Investigators now believe he is dead, and his mother, Leilani Simmon, has been named as the main suspect in the case. WSAV's lead investigative reporter, Brett Buffington, is joining us now live at the Joint Task Force Command Center near the landfill. Brett, where do things stand tonight?
Tina, I can tell you those searchers, they have gone home for the day and for the week. They will suspend their search at that landfill over the weekend as they did last weekend. It's a time for them to essentially regroup in their efforts, take some type of break, as well as the landfill does close for the weekend. So they have gone home. They will resume their search on Monday morning at daybreak. I can tell you they can't tell us exactly how much trash they have gone through or if they have found anything relevant to this case. Speaking of Quinton's mom, as you did at the beginning of this story, let me show you some brand new video we just got. This is out front of Quinton's home. It is Buckhalter Road, about 7 miles from where this command.
Now, look at Leilanis. She's sitting outside, not one thing on her mind. She's probably high, okay? She probably is. At one point, she starts singing. At one point, on another channel, she was yelling justice for Quinton. Look at that. Look how nasty she is.
Answer is, this is the first time we have seen this.
Watch her. She's singing. People are across the street from her and they're protesting because they want her ass in jail. They want her locked up with the quickness. They don't care about the timeline. They don't care about the speedy trial. They don't care about what the DA has to do. They don't care. They want her in jail, and she's singing. Snazzy Trinkets, thank you for the super sticker. If they televise the trial, we be covering it, Brooks. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, yes, I will. No way. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be tough. A lot of people are going to get upset because we heard a lot of stuff during Harmony's trial. We heard a lot during Gannon's trial. And I believe this one, with what little bit we know, is going to be worse.
Protesters, they have been in front of that house for at least 2 weeks now, and Quinton's been missing for 3. But those protesters today met with Billy Joe Howell, Quinton's grandmother, and Leilani Simon, Quinton's mom, out front. They, of course, screaming justice for Quinton back at those protesters. There was some kind of a debacle there earlier today. The police have been called at least twice today back to that home, once we know from the police department involving signs. Meanwhile, let's get to new pictures we got today from the Chatham County Police Department and the FBI. This is
So as they're sitting in the front yard, drinking their pop, smoking their cigarettes, playing on their phones, taunting protesters by saying, justice for Quinton, twerking in the windows, run up the driveway to fight with people. Look at what's going on miles away from them. These are people in Tyvek suits that are digging through waste to find Quinton. I'm not asking anyone to go dig through their trash, but think about what you throw away. And it's not just your waste, it's other people's. Some people don't throw away their toilet paper. Some people don't clean their homes properly. We know that women get a monthly cycle. You got that out there? Poopy diapers, cat litter, dog shit, old chicken, and they're just sitting out in the front lawn. Imagine the stench.
an update of the intense and the incredible amount of work that they have to do in this search. You can see just those piles of trash. I can tell you from what we've been told by the FBI, they essentially bring trash from where they believe this dumpster that Quinton's body was in was dumped. They search through 2 lines of trash, and as soon as one of those lines is done, they bring in another one. Tina?
Well, Brett, you
I used to love when people would say, well, let me go down there. I'll find him. These are experts in landfill recovery. They have special rakes. They're almost like a comb. Think about that. If you still comb your hair, I pick mine. I have frizzy hair. But they have to comb through it meticulously, because they're looking for anything. Hair, like they said, they found a bone here, tissue here, a little baby tooth. They found part of a finger. And you can't just say, hey, Phil, I found a tooth. It has to be analyzed. You can't say, hey, Bob, Looks like I found some hair here. It has to be analyzed.
Spoke to Quinton's biological father. What can you tell us about that conversation?
I can tell you we spent 2 days in Girard, Georgia. That's in Burke County, about 70, 80 miles away from here. And that is where Quinton Simon's biological father, Bubba Moss, lives. He is, of course, going through the loss of his son. As police have said, they believe Quinton is dead. But also we know that this week he lost his mother as well. I can tell you in the obituary for his mother, Quinton Simon listed as a survivor. But Bubba, obviously emotional in both of these. We asked him if he could tell us anything about his son, how he feels about this. He simply just walked back into his home. Tina.
And they were sitting on the front lawn. Crime Story Diva said, did cadaver dogs help in the landfill? They did, immensely. But as they said, it's not a neat process. Remember the steamrollers, the compaction, the way they have to spread at landfills. They definitely picked up on his scent, but where is he? So yeah, they definitely did. All right, well, trying to get sympathy again for Leilanis. There's Billy. Now, if Billy had any brain between her ears, she would be advocating for Quinton, not for Leilanis. We have seen the timeline as to what transpired before Quinton's murder. We've seen that. In that timeline, there was nothing about Leilanis going to drug rehab. Now, before I get myself into too much trouble, I'm not picking on the girl having a drug problem. I'm picking on her being a damn alleged murderer. And her mama trying to pull the recovery rehab trick that I get real tired of hearing. You have a problem? Sorry for you. You're recovered? Good for you. You're in recovery? Good luck to you. It gives you zero excuse to murder your children.
All new at 6, Leilani Simon's lawyers want to drop several of her charges. The accused murderer appeared in a Chatham County courtroom today. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole is joining us live from outside that courthouse. And Andy, walk us through what happened.
Yeah, Brooke, today's hearing covered the motion to squash the subpoena to get Leilani's journals. And they also heard arguments on the defense's motion to get rid of a few indictments, several charges on the indictment. Now, today, Leilani's lawyers began the motions hearing by calling Leilani's mother, Billie Jo Howell, to the witness stand. In her testimony, Howell admitted her daughter, Leilani Simon, had been in a drug recovery home for 3 weeks leading up to Quinton's murder back in October 2022. Howell said she turned over 7 journals to the court that she claimed she never knew existed before the subpoena. Howell also testified that her daughter told her she uses writing as a way to work through grief.
You really think Billy didn't know about all these journals? And when she got the subpoena to her own home and they said, we know there's journals there to send them over, she didn't know about them? She certainly did. It's another lie. Another lie standing in the way of Quinton.
3 weeks leading up to Quinton's murder back in October 2022. Howell said she turned over 7 journals to the court that she claims she never knew existed before the subpoena. Howell also testified that her daughter told her she uses writing as a way to work through grief. The judge also heard arguments for the defenses over their motions to throw out the murder and some false reporting charges. No judgments were made today. Judge Stokes says she will take time to deliberate over these arguments and make a decision in sometime soon. We will, of course, be on top of that. For now, in Savannah, I'm Andy Colt, WJCL 22 News.
So she was in drug rehab, supposedly. I have a suspicion that won't be verified. That's going to be a lie. Because then who was taking care of Sky? Sky's a baby. Sky had just been born a couple of months before. What are the 7 journals about for grief? Exactly, cray cray. Who else died? She has to journal her grief? Nah, I don't think so. I think she was making her go to NA here and there as part of her probation. And so she would write stuff down. Who knows what she wrote down? Dudes' phone numbers? I don't know what she was doing. But if she was that worried about her daughter's sobriety, because here's the thing, you don't buy a drunk a drink. If you're that damn proud of yourself for your recovery, being in recovery, what have you, then why did she take her daughter to a bar and do shots with her on Tybee Island? I'm not the expert. I'm not an addiction counselor. Y'all got high together. Y'all got drunk together. And now you want sympathy? You want people to give her sympathy and say she journals her grief?
Search for the body of a 20-month-old boy. Tonight, we are bringing you content you will see only on News 3. It is a picture of Quinton Simon's mom at a Tybee Island bar just hours after federal agents left a landfill looking for her child's body. So far, Leilani Simon has refused to comment on Quinton's death.
Leilani, do you have anything to say? Leilani, tell us what happened to Quinton?
Today, federal agents and police officers returned to a landfill for a...
And again, there are federal agents combing, literally with their tools, combing through the trash to find any piece of little baby Quinton. And Brett, you're right. How does Billy know Lilazy journals her grief but didn't know about the journals at the same time? How does that work? How does that work? She's in jail right now. Did she journal that Quinton would be 4 years old now? What is she journaling now? No, this is something that Billy had her doing as part of her probation and parole for stealing the damn lemonade, the popcorn, and the smokes from the Love's truck stop.
a second day to scour the property for Quinton's remains. WSCV's lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington is joining us live now from the Joint Task Force Command Center near that landfill. and that is where the search for Quinton continues.
And Tina, some dozens of agents, they just left for the day. They started at sunrise this morning. They will be back at sunrise tomorrow. They told us yesterday that this search, it could take days.
This is the shot from above. Federal agents lined up, raking through garbage. Yesterday, this went on for hours. Today, this is the shot that is trending. That's Leilani Simon, the only suspect in her son's disappearance. Leilani, her mother, Billie Jo Howell, and others.
Doing shooters on Tybee Island. While search crews, actually federal agents that are trained in landfill recovery, were out in the landfill. Thank you, DC. Welcome to the family for becoming a new YouTube member. So glad you're here. The show's a little dark today. Try to keep it as light as possible, but some cases you just can't. Because who in the hell is going to go and do shots, shooters, eat steak, give out phone numbers to the wait staff on Tybee Island when they're searching for your son and grandson in the landfill? They had a damn surf and turf. They had lobster and steak. Again, how concerned is Billy about Leilazi's sobriety? You want to get her away from the house, to calm down nerves? I'm sure there's lots of places you can go. But you don't need to go somewhere where you're shooting tequila and trying to throw your ass around by giving out your phone number. But we're supposed to feel sorry for this family. I feel sorry for little Quinton Simon.
It's Leilani Simon, the only suspect in her son's disappearance. Leilani, her mother, Billie Jo Howell, and others at a popular Tybee Island bar last night, just hours after the search for her son wrapped up. We've learned from the people who waited on them. They took shots, got flirty, and even demanded one waiter's phone number. The investigative unit with the shot showing the missed phone call. That number from Billie Jo Howell's.
Got the waiter's phone number. And Leilazi called him from Billy's phone, or Billy called him, thinking she was going to get one more good lay since Danny was in Hotlanta playing pool with his friends. She's sitting there trying to hook her daughter up with the waiter. Look at that.
Lany, her mother, Billie Jo Howell, and others at a popular Tybee Island bar last night, just hours after the search for her son wrapped up. We've learned from the people who waited on them. They took shots, got flirty, and even demanded one waiter's phone number. The investigative unit with the shot showing the missed phone call. That number
from Billy Joe Howell's cell phone. That grandmother today telling these Tybee Island cops we were starting to annoy her. We found Billy Joe Howell leaving this Tybee Island hotel. She didn't stop to talk to us then, and though it says she read this message asking about last night, she didn't text us back either.
This is my baby, not yours.
It was just over a week and a half ago. Billy Joe Howell got into this emotion-fueled argument.
You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help.
Last night, the party, according to the waiters, ran up a tab over $300 while protesters stood in front of the family's house demanding justice for Quinton. Listen, there are so many people asking tonight, why hasn't this mom been arrested? She's the only suspect in the case. The Chatham County Police Chief doubled down on what he's told us yesterday, that when they file those charges in this case, if they file those charges in this case, they want to make sure that they don't get hung up on any technicality.
They didn't want to get hung up on any technicality. That's it. Welcome, Natalie. Natalie says, love your channel. You're killing it, Brooks. I just get super pissed. That's it. I just get super pissed at these people. Let me show you what was going on while they were out partying on Tybee Island. You'll have to look at your phone, your computer, your TV. No need in music. Because the silence is deafening. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Welcome, Holly Henderson. I'm glad you found the channel too. We're live every day at 9 a.m. Central. Everyone's always got a lot to say. Hello, Muscles. There was a driver that works at the landfill in Savannah, Georgia. Gave us an inside look as to what it looks like when you go through there and all the trash they dump. Remember, when you have your garbage your trash, your rubbish, as Kat calls it, picked up. Well, I don't know how they do it in England. Every truck knows where they've picked up. They don't go through your trash. They just know where they've picked up. But then it goes to the landfill. And every truck is marked as to where it dumps. And then it goes back out again.
Promoting some movie somewhere in Europe, and there's a guy that's known for, doing stupid things to people on the red carpet. Yeah. So this guy does the old European kiss you on the cheek thing, and Will kind of goes with it, and then the guy tries to kiss him on the mouth, and Will pushes him away, gives him the look like, I'm going to kill you, and then $1.49 a month in
Okay, he's listened to the radio. But look at all of that. That's not anyone's garden. That's our trash. Miles and miles and miles of it.
There's over 1,000 people that work for Facebook. Over 1,000 people that became instant millionaires on Friday. Congratulations to every one of them who bought in early.
Look at all that. That is horrible. I agree with you, Britt. God is the reason they found any trace of Quinton. I 100% agree. Because think about it. Slim counted 17 federal agents. And again, their tools, they have like combs at the end to go through over 1 million pounds of trash. Like they said, a bone here, a piece of tissue. You even have to know what you're looking for. Think about it. That's why when I heard some of those idiots saying, I'll go down and search, would you even know what you're looking at? Imagine sending my dumbass down to the landfill. Hey, Brooks. Here's this tool we use. It looks like a little comb. And if you find a piece of tissue, go put it on this table. Like I would know what a piece of tissue looks like. If you find a tooth, let us know. Well, do you think it's going to look like a tooth you put under the pillow, waiting on the tooth fairy? No. Hey, Brooks, if you have, a big old body, I could see that. That's not what they're looking for. A little baby tooth. Gotta be kidding me. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of Leilani standing in front of the garage door with her mother, Billy, with that insane interview. Then we're going to talk about more of Billy's lies. I'm going to put the link up if anybody wants to come up and chat and tell me what you think. And if you want to say I'm being too harsh on them, let me know. We're all friends here.
They've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death. They don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quinton and the fact that he's gone.
Dumbasses. I mean, dumbasses. We've got to sit in the backyard. It's too painful to be inside. Yet, Billy Ho told her new YouTube friend, who she didn't talk to anymore, that she's afraid that the FBI tapped the house. Hold on. We have a friend backstage. Well, hello, Angel P. How are you?
Hello, Brooks. How are you doing today, darling?
Good. I'm just pissed at Billy and Leilani.
Me too. I remember us going through this case. You know, I feel so bad about it. I can still feel all the things that we felt, you know, while we were covering this case. You know, her barging into Diana's house like she wanted to get it on like Donkey Kong. And then, you know, I remember the sheriff. Remember the sheriff? He was so tearful and determined to find this baby. And then these poor workers, I'm telling you what, you know, these people probably have PTSD. I don't know, but I know that some of them have health problems, you know, ongoing from working in that biohazard environment. I can't imagine the evil. I just can't imagine.
I was talking about the landfill in Utah from, I cannot remember her name, how disrespectful of me. And there was a man that was out there searching for her. Oh, it'll come to me in a second. I promise it will. And he got what's called a blood-borne pathogen.
Yeah. You know, it's dangerous. And I remember when they found, you know, parts of this little innocent, sweet angel. I remember the sheriff saying, I'm pretty sure it was the sheriff, those workers, they had a gigantic poster of Quinton hung up somewhere on a truck or, you know, somewhere where they were working to keep them motivated and not get discouraged and to help them, you know, go on and remember why they were there. And I really think it was divine intervention that helped them find this baby's body parts, for lack of a better way of putting it.
I do too, because Chief Hadley said we have a command center and we have a huge picture of little baby Quinton. And he is our reminder of why we keep going. The federal agents, they have a picture of baby Quinton. They had the American flag hanging. But you know what Billy Joe had? What I have on the screen?
Oh my God. I remember this. I remember this.
Well, we have another friend backstage, and let's see if she remembers it. Everyone. Our friend Kat is up here, and our friend Angel. Kat, tell me what you know. What do you think?
Hey, Kat.
Hi, good to see everyone. Hi, Angel. Hi, Brooks. So I was wondering what you said. I think it was quite early on in this show that you were saying that she's refusing to represent herself.
No, she's refusing to take the stand in her own defense.
Is that obligatory? Like, she doesn't have to do that, right?
No, she didn't have to do that. No.
But I'm surprised she even turned up to court, because the reason why she got the nickname Leilanis, apart from anything else, was because she just doesn't bother turning up to her court appearances, like, ever.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if she's even in court for the trial at all, to be honest.
What pissed me off is her being in front of the garage door saying, if I'm responsible, I'll take myself down there. Well, that's not what happened. I can show you exactly what happened. I've got the clip right here. Bluffing him.
Circumstances of her arrest, where and when it happened.
We know she was picked up from her home and taken to the Chatham County Detention Center
That happened just as they were making that arrest or making that announcement on yesterday. They told us that they didn't want anyone to have any exclusives in this case. They would release this to every affiliate here in Savannah at the same time. And they kept their word to that. I can tell you that they called the news directors and they gave us a heads up that there was an announcement coming. They made that announcement. And we know that she was quickly booked into the Chatham County Jail. She was supposed to have a bond here.
He said right there they picked her up from home. We lost Angel. I'll put the link back down. So she will not take the stand in her own defense, which again, she doesn't have to. She can plead the fifth. She doesn't have to show up. She doesn't have to do any of that. She has to be there for sentencing. However, she stood in front of the garage and said, I will take myself down there if I have anything to do with this. She knew she had everything to do with it.
Of course she knew. Of course she knew. And it was, even at the time, it was like, well, why aren't you running down there and banging on the door then? You're sitting in your yard singing and justice for Quinton and all of that, throwing stuff around and throwing things at the people out in the front and all of that rubbish. Like, she was no more going down and beating the door of the police station down to hand herself in than I flew to the moon that day. She's always made me so mad, like her and her mother, like between the two of them, it's hard to know like who's the most aggravating out of both of them. I think they're codependent completely. And yeah, the fact that
actually, I'm going to take a poll. I'm going to bring Angel back up. Who is the most aggravating in this case? Leilani, Danny, Paul, or Billy? Welcome back, Angel.
Thank you, darling. I got knocked out.
It's okay.
It wasn't me.
Nope.
I know it wasn't you. I could just listen to Cat talk all day. She got me so mesmerized. I got kicked out.
I can tell you exactly what it is. It's Greg's welfare StreamYard because he won't pay for the bigger package, but I'll talk.
Oh my
Greg, are you
goodness.
still in here? Sort your wife out with a bigger package.
Lord.
Flip Flop said all of the above. I couldn't choose.
What was the question again?
Who's the most aggravating? Billy, Paul? Who's Paul? I don't know who Paul is. Billy, Paul, or Leilanis?
The most aggravating. Oh my God, it's a really close tie between Billy Joe and Leilani to me.
I mean, even that banner, like every part of this whole case from start to now, seeing those people in that landfill day after day after day after day after day, and the amazing work that they did to find any trace of Quinton, which they did, just blew me away. And the disrespect that was being shown from Billy Joe and Leilanis towards Quinton from that home.
Yes. I agree. Do you remember when they
what
were...
words you're supposed to put on that, but I don't know what those words are. I don't have words to describe that juxtaposition between the two things.
I know, it's horrible. You remember, Brooks, when they were out in the yard, like you were talking about before, and they knew, I mean, especially Leilani knew, and they were going, justice for Quinton, because the protesters were doing that. I mean, they gave no respect to this child.
And the lies that Billy Joe told on Leilanis's behalf and the defense that she was willing to bring for her daughter and what her daughter did all over the internet. And it was just sick. It's just beyond sick. It's beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. You know, you may still be in a bit of denial and want to kind of, you know, there may be a part of you that feels like, oh, I'll defend my daughter or whatever. But this was to another level. This was pure, like unadulterated. Whatever the outcome, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to protect my daughter and I'm going to speak up for my daughter. What about your grandson? Like, no one was his voice.
I can't understand that at all. I don't think any of us could understand that level of evil.
I'm so shocked that she has not ended up with any charges on her.
Yeah, because she was legally responsible for the child.
Absolutely.
And
She was
morally
legally responsible for
responsible.
all of the children, and they said in the PCA that she knowingly left the children, or at least the child that she had custody of, Zane. She knowingly left Zane in the custody of or in the care of a woman that she knew was unable to care for them.
And then let her live there in the house. My
Right.
God. Mm.
I just put this picture on the screen. That's when the FBI was taping off the house, draining the pool, and Billy wants a new pool liner.
Oh.
He wants someone to come over and help her fix the pool. I can tell you this. My voice to God's ear, and it is the truth. My parents love my children 10 times more than they ever thought about loving me. Okay?
That's the way it goes with grandkids.
I never knew those assholes had money. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you doing buying them a bicycle just because it's Tuesday?
Right? We didn't get that, did we, Brooks?
Yeah.
No.
Now you've got McDonald's money?
Yeah, exactly.
Drove by, you told us it was closed or it'd make us fat. What are you talking about? Or it's better.
When the ice cream van comes around playing that tune, it means there's no ice creams left, right? Until you have grandkids.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I lied to my kids all the time too. Can we go to the zoo today? Can we go to the zoo today? Can we go to the zoo today? No, we can't. The monkeys have the flu. What? How'd the monkeys get the flu? Because they were picking.
Oh, Brooks, I've even said the zoo is closed before. Isn't that horrible? Things we do.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right though, for your grandchildren, like it's, you know, I don't understand. I know Billy Joe's already got another child in jail, prison for the same kind of crime. And I'm kind of like, oh, so you messed up that bad with your first child that when your second child is accused of the same crime, you're going to go hell for leather to protect them, right? Like, what about this little defenseless, nearly 2-year-old baby that you had supposedly were trying to get legal custody of? Like,
Legal custody, she had permanent guardianship. They were on the track to terminate Leilazi's parental rights.
yeah, I wasn't sure because I thought they might have got the guardianship for Quinton after this happened, or
No, this was before.
Right.
This was before. That's the reason it only mentioned Zane. See, this is when they were taking away Billy Ho's permanent guardianship, saying you can't have any contact with Zane. And then there's a supplement saying you can't be around Sky either because you had permanent guardianship of Zane and little baby Quinton.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, they named her like on that PCA. That's what really annoyed me the most, is that not the most, but one of the things that's annoyed me big time. And no, Greg, no one wants to see that package. Save it for Brooks. Is that she hasn't caught any charges at all after this. Beyond me. It's beyond me.
I think it's going to happen after the conviction for Leilazi comes down. Self-aware, welcome to the channel, says, I wonder why people can't understand why Leilazi was acting the way she was in the yard, etc. I don't know what etc. is. She killed her son. How normal do people expect her to act? I expect her to keep her ass in the house and not add further disrespect to what she did to her own son, because allegedly she's the murderer.
Yep.
And while those people are in the landfill searching, which we've seen the images of, you know, and just again earlier on this show, while those people were out there risking their own health, risking their own lives, putting their own lives on hold to find the child that she ended the life of in that landfill, she's sitting in the backyard behaving like, I mean, yeah, okay, maybe we don't expect her to act normal, but you also don't expect her to put that much disrespect and to be encouraged to do so by her own mother in her backyard. I mean, what part of that is okay? You know, what part of that is okay?
Bayou Babe says, how do you all think she did it?
Well, I know when...
I think considering they taped off the inside of the house, they put the luminol around, that's on this picture right here. They removed, well, they found the pajamas in the landfill. And of course, the pillowcase. I don't know where they found the pillowcase, but there was an object that was spoke about in October of 2022. And I mean, a couple of days later, they said they had every reason to believe that little baby Quinton was dead. And now we're hearing that they are testing, and luminol only picks up blood, according to multiple research. But this is a specialized test they're doing to test for brain matter on his pajamas and his little baby pillowcase.
So you know me, I'm going to say what I think. I think she beat him with a blunt force trauma. I don't know what she used, but I think she bashed him in the pack and play.
Well, what you said, Brooks, is right. They came out even before they'd actually found any trace of him at all in the landfill and said that they believed that he wasn't with us anymore. But they also said they have evidence at that time that a violent fatal event had taken place in that home, and that was before they even found any trace of him. So they obviously knew what had happened to him before they even found him. Now all they have to do, really, after all of this search and everything else, is get the testing and prove it.
And I don't know. I did read some other articles. They were talking about how sometimes, I don't know if that's possible or not, Angel's the nurse. I do remember with Billy talking to different people, she said one object that they took out of the house was something that Leilani gave to Billy for Mother's Day. And it looks like a trophy that says world's best mother.
Oh, good God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, that's grim.
Well, you know, if you got a skull fracture, a really bad skull fracture, I can understand the brain matter, unfortunately. It's very sickening.
To me, what it says is the only reason that they would be looking for that toxicology outcome is if they know that's what they're looking for. You know, just randomly wake up one morning and go, oh, should we test it for this thing? They know what they're looking for.
That's right.
Good grief.
Just damn sick over it.
But you just stand there pretending to cry. Sorry, yeah, you're playing it now. Go on.
Look at her face and look at Billy. Why did Billy mention to anyone that plastic trophy was taken by the FBI? And then she goes on to tell people that Quinton drowned in the bathtub or drowned in her pool. She knows what was going on.
Only a few days before that, she was screaming at the babysitter that the babysitter had him.
This interview always strikes me because when Leilani's talking, watch what Billy Ho does.
Tears of more anger, not knowing what's happening.
It was tears, but now more anger, not knowing.
Really?
Leilani knows exactly what happened.
Yeah.
because allegedly she is the murderer of her son.
Yep.
And on top of that, she's the only person with 19 indictments on her.
Yeah.
I still want to know to this day, because she did call her mother. I don't believe there's anything in text or anything, or that would have already been out. Did Billy tell her to put him in the dumpster? Because Leilani, Leilazi, is not that quick on her feet. And Billy stood by her side the entire time and
Right.
still is.
I mean,
It's
I
nothing but
wouldn't put it past Billy Joe to have said something like, "You need to get rid of the evidence," or "You need to get rid of it." Even using the word "it," I wouldn't put that past Billy Joe. I'm obviously speculating, but I wouldn't put it past her.
I agree, Kat.
And some say that Leilani did it to get even with Billy because Billy lost custody to the state of all her kids. And so she was abandoned, and she knew that Billy had a shining towards Quinton, and Leilani didn't like that. She wanted to be the number one. I don't know if I want to get that child psychologist into it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to brass tacks. She called her mother.
Yep.
Billy texted Diana, "Have you seen Quinton?"
Mm-hmm.
And how crazy is that? Because they knew that Quinton was not with Diana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she had to be seen to be going around there and raging at Diana, like literally in her face, like trailer trash, screaming
Mm-hmm.
at her, like Jerry Springer's turning in his grave kind of thing. But
But
then
then
comes out.
follow me. I mean, Billy texts Diana, "Have you seen Quinton?"
Uh-huh.
Then she charges into her house. "You have Quinton. You're the only one that can get in my house."
Yeah.
I think they were trying to set Diana up. Like it's that easy.
Probably. They tried to set the biological father up as well by saying that he must have took him. Like
Yep.
they literally it's this kind of a crime where we've seen it in other cases where the first people that are blamed are like, for example, in Audrey Cunningham's case where whatever his name was, I can't remember his name, sorry. Stephen. Anyway, he tried to set the mother up with all those text messages and everything beforehand, and then texting her saying, "Have you seen Audrey?" and all of this. Like, it seems
Oh,
to be
yeah.
the kind of way to go. Like they've just thrown people out there who coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, as far as I'm concerned, Billy Joe knew early doors what Leilani had done to Quinton, and was throwing shade at everybody else. Look over there, look over there. Don't look at my daughter. Don't look at my daughter. Oh,
And
maybe. Go on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go on.
And she knew what type of mother her daughter was. And
That
she
even
let her
said
live
that
in
in
her
the
house.
PCA. It said that in the PCA that she knew that Leilani was not capable or not fit parent to look after those children, and yet she
Mm-hmm.
left them with her anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask the chat.
Okay.
Do you think, this is opinion only, speculation only, because I have zero proof of this, and I mean zero proof.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing but discussion and a conversation. Do you think when Leilazi called her mother for whatever she told her, "Can't find Quinton, I killed Quinton, don't know what to do," do you think that Billy gave her advice on what to do? Because she did call her before Billy texted Diana to ask if she'd seen Quinton.
Yeah.
And a few days later, she stormed in and said, "Maybe you have Quinton.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one that can get in my house." Do you believe, or do you think that Billy instructed her on what to do? Joy said, abso-freaking-lutely. We're all mad here said yes. Let's go through the interview while everyone thinks about it.
If that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quinton is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
I had a question for Billy when this was going on, and I did message her on Facebook. And I didn't really pick apart the interview, didn't even bring it up. I said, I heard on the news that the only way that you get information about your grandson's case is from watching the news. Why is that? Won't detectives tell you what's going on? Don't they want to talk to Leilani? And I got a text message back. Something about Vaseline, razors, and a big old F you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're kidding. Oh my God.
No.
Ugh.
She's so trashy. Fucking hell.
Well, we all get mad. We have our moments. But I mean, I was like, okay, way to
Well,
go.
it's just a question. Like, you know, it wasn't one of the worst questions she was asked during that whole time because she had groups of YouTubers camping on her front lawn.
Yep.
She could have just been fed up at the time, but I just thought to myself, if the only way you can get news is from watching the news, why not ask the detectives what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, you ain't gonna ask them if you already know, are you?
Come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy.
Truest statement they've ever made. Let me tell you what. When Billy says what we want more than anything is for him not to be found in that landfill. You know why, Billy? Because you're sweating your lady balls off.
Yep.
Because you are afraid. You are afraid that it's going to somehow come back on you, that maybe you said something to your daughter to remind her
Yep.
the trash on October 5th, which is a certain day of the week, always picks up at a certain time.
Yep.
You can't put it out in your trash. We saw the FBI out there going through theirs. They always do that. But that is the truest statement that Billy has ever made.
Yes.
Do you know, I completely agree with you. And do you know when they tell on themselves? Like, they tell on themselves by saying something like that. Like, we hope that he is, to God, that he is not found in that landfill. Because you know that the lead is going to drop on your head when that happens. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a mic drop moment, really.
Listen to her again. What do you mean you don't want him found in that landfill? Don't you mean we want more than anything to find him?
Yep.
Listen to her again. Watch Billy. For some reason, I have an inkling. I can't prove it, but I think she gave her daughter instructions. And I think that's the reason that she texted Diana and said, have you seen Quinton? I think that the entire argument in the backyard, I think it was 100% staged because they would never be that dumb to do that with news crews outside.
Is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy.
For him not to be found in that landfill. Now look at Leilani's face. Look at what she says. She doesn't mention landfill. Leilani, proven, is the one that put him in the dumpster.
Yep.
Did Leilani think of it? I don't know. She told the police with many of her lies that she took trash down there because their trash was full. This bitch don't care about dirty stuff.
Didn't she also
No.
say that she was going to pick up some kind of mouth ulcer medication or something from them?
Yep.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, some kind of mouth ulcer
Oh,
medication.
yeah, Oragel.
Oragel, yeah, that's the one.
There you go.
Yeah, like she needs that. Now watch Lie Lazy.
Be and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. This one.
Now look at Billy looking away.
Mm-hmm.
We want.
Because she knows.
Yes, she does.
Billy looks away, and Leilani is looking at her mother for more reassurance. I'm gonna slow it
What's
down.
the next part of the script? What's the next part of the script? I forgot the script, Mum. What is it meant to be?
She's looking at her for reassurance. What do I say next?
Uh-huh.
That's what we want.
Look at that. Why on earth, when you're advocating for your son, Billy, after she already said, we don't want him in that landfill, look at Lilazy's mouth. You couldn't fit a pecker in that mouth right now.
Oh my goodness.
Look at her. And Billy's looking away. This should have their full attention.
Yep.
When I saw that, the first thing I thought was Billy knows that she is lying. She knows.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew when I saw this interview.
And she also knows that if she continued to look in the direction that she was looking, her face was going to give the game away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look away now. This is getting, too close to home now.
Mm-hmm.
And there goes Leilani looking at her mother, who's looking the other way, that just already said, we want anything more than for him to be found in that landfill. So you'd rather him be found dead in a ditch?
Oh no, they didn't want him to be found. I've got a pretty good feeling that they thought, or at least Leilani thought, even if we can't prove that Billy Joe thought it or mentioned it to her, that if he ended up in the landfill, he wasn't ever going to be found.
I agree.
That's what they hoped, or that's what Lilazy hoped.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a feeling that's probably what Billy Joe hoped as well, because otherwise he wouldn't have fed the story or given the idea to Lilazy in the first place. Of course, again, speculating, but to me, the whole of the body language in this whole interview was like, oh, we don't want him found. No, we literally don't want him found in that landfill. Yeah, they could have just stopped at we don't want him found. I think that probably was close to the truth.
Yes, I agree.
Look at what Billy says and the way she catches herself and she looks away.
Something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill.
So where do you want him found?
Right.
We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and we're hoping that, maybe they want a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior.
Oh, please.
That's their best hopes at this point.
How many times does this happen? It's like, oh, we hope that someone took him who wants to love him. We hope that someone took him really that wanted a baby, or what?
Even Candace Wells can do better than this. You look at Billy, there's immense stress on her face.
Yep.
And that immense stress is exactly what she said. We want anything more. We don't want him found in that landfill. Why?
because she
Because
didn't want
Billy Joe knows
banned.
that's where he is.
Right.
Right.
And also because this is, at the very least, is Devil in the Deep Blue Sea right here on Billy Joe's face. She's like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I've got two choices here. I can be the supporting mother, or I can just be completely disappointed and outraged at my daughter's behaviour. You know, there's two. What other choices does Billy Joe have at this point? She's in front of the news media, and her daughter is going off on some rant about how she hopes that the child was taken by someone that would love him and care for him and all of this stuff. And she's like, the fuck are you talking about now? Like,
Now, there's no way possible that Billy put him in the dumpster. We know Leilani did. We
Yeah.
know that. He
Well,
was found in the landfill. As I said, a bone here, a baby tooth here, tissue here. And now here they are. And I have no idea about this testing to find brain matter. I have no idea. Don't even ask me, because I don't know. I mean, I guess I could, be like some other creators in quotes, and I could Google it real quick and say, well, what you do is you find a special light and you put it under the baby's pillowcase, and then if it turns pink, no, I have no idea. Emma said Billy got mom guilt.
Billy got some kind of guilt, for real.
You don't make that face unless you're worried about getting your own ass put into a sling.
Can you imagine having two kids and both of those children have murdered somebody?
Uh-huh.
Good God.
And you still sit there and take zero accountability or responsibility for that. Zero.
Mm.
And she's still covering for her. Why? When she said, I don't know anything about the journals. And like Britt, she picked up on it. Britt said, how does she not know about the journals, but says she uses journals to journal her grief? Why did Billy send this picture out to Voices Behind the Wall? Sorry, I'm not subscribed, everybody. And there's Billy Joe. She said, my baby Quinton, sweet monkey do Simon. There's Cher going, oh, that's him. She goes, yes, it's my baby Quinton. Then you had Jennifer Coffindaffer that said, oh, I'm so proud of the FBI for doing that. Hang on. As of yesterday, his body has still not been released. You know why?
Because they're still doing the testing and stuff to get the evidence.
They're still trying to put it together.
This right here was so disrespectful in so many ways. It really pissed me off. I'll just be honest.
Oh, no, I agree completely. I don't think there was one of us that wasn't sat there with our jaws on the floor like, what the actual hell?
Yeah. And it tells you a lot about people that align with people like this and push something like this knowing that it's not even true.
If I sent that to, well, I've got two good friends on here right now. If I sent that to my friend Angel or my friend Kat and said, oh, look, they have taken the remains of whoever and put it at the FBI, I'll say Oklahoma City headquarters or Shreveport, would you not scratch your head and say, with an American flag, and why?
Yeah.
Don't they find dead?
That was exactly my first thought, and I didn't actually see it on the channel that you shared, that you were talking about. I saw it on Jennifer Coffindaffer's Twitter account, and my first instinctive reaction was like, no. Why are you putting that out there as this is Quinton Simon? That's absolute BS. Like, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy. And for someone like her to put it out there was just, to me, was just beyond the pale, because if anyone would know that, it would be an ex-FBI person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And then
how
like
does an
this.
ex-FBI get duped by some clown?
Oh, I can tell you why right now. I mean, she's been the idiot of the week for as long as I've got it. She's got it
Right.
again this week. She drives me nuts. I couldn't believe, not to change cases, and I'm not going to go off on that, with Riley Strain when she was talking about the fraternity brothers, and she's like, well, I hope law enforcement has talked to them. And I'm like, what?
I can't even. It's just a litany of ridiculousness that I can't even begin to go into now. But I'll make a list and I'll submit it for your perusal of all the things that she's ever said and done. But it's like, yeah, I can't.
That'll be a long list, Kat. Mm.
Well, guys, before I shut it down, I didn't mean to keep everybody for almost 2.5 hours. I normally don't do that. But I get real fired up about this case. This is remembering Quinton Simmon.
365 days ago, prosecutors say that Lany Simmon beat her 20-month-old son to death before throwing him in a trailer park dumpster. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole has been on the story since day one, and he brings us a recap from the last year.
Plaintiff as her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open.
1 year ago, Quinton Simmon went missing. We spoke with Quinton's grandmother.
I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't.
About Quinton's mom, Leilani.
She hasn't always done the right things. Sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't.
Initially, the community rallied around the family and helped law enforcement search by land and by air. But just 7 days later, police announced that Quinton was likely dead and named his then 22-year-old mother, Leilani Simmon, the prime suspect. But they still hadn't found his body. Eventually, the FBI honed in on a Chatham County landfill. The expert searchers spent 31 days there, inspecting 1.2 million pounds of trash before finding Quinton's remains.
We feel that we have a very strong case. We have put thousands of hours into this, and we believed that this was the right move today to be able to do that.
Just before Thanksgiving, Simmon was taken into custody, where she remained ever since.
She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit. Quinton deserves that.
In December, Simmon was officially indicted and charged with 19 counts in the death of her own son.
These are the cases that keep us up at night. These are the cases that deserve justice.
Since then, Simmon has been in and out of court for various hearings, her next scheduled for this December. It's unclear when the trial, if there is one, will get underway.
Well, it's been nearly...
Well, according to the motions hearing yesterday, the defense sounds like they could give a rat's ass. They're like, yeah, we got all we need. They're just going to show up and put up. And prosecution is waiting on Quinton's pillowcase in his pajamas to be tested for brain matter.
Beyond sick, isn't it? Oh, Brooks, thank you so much for covering this. I was looking around last night after I heard that she was in court yesterday, and I didn't really see anyone else was covering it, and I'm really glad that you picked back up on it, because it's one of those cases that I've been quite invested in since the beginning, and I know that you'll see it through to the end. So thank you for the show today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Brooks. Thanks for having me up, and thanks for covering baby Quinton. It's a case that hit me very, very deeply, and I'm going to follow it through to the end, and I appreciate you.
Same, me too, because, you know, I'm a boy mom. Angel, you have 3 grandsons. It doesn't matter if you have granddaughters, grandsons, daughters, sons. I think Quinton's case has hit us all in the gut in a different way. And when I see this bitch getting her GED, listen, I don't care who has a GED. I don't care. I don't care. And then her mother saying, I'm so glad she's finally getting her life together. Again, here's a friendly reminder. This is where she really graduated from. On trial for murder of your 20-month-old son and getting your good enough degree is not getting your life together. But thanks for playing, Billy.
I assume they don't teach things like, moral compass and actual law and justice and the rights and wrongs and parenting and all of that kind of stuff in a GED, no?
No. It's basically a high school equivalency. And I don't care who has one, who doesn't. I could care less.
I mean, I'd feel better knowing that people could get them outside of jail and that they couldn't necessarily get them inside of jail. That would probably make me feel better.
Right.
What is she gonna, how is she ever going to use that? Because she's going to be in jail for the rest of her life. I mean, I don't know if they have the DP or whatever, or if they're pushing for the DP, but seriously, she's never going to be able to use that qualification in any meaningful way. So what's the point of wasting money on her getting it?
That's right. Taxpayers are paying for that.
Outside of jail who pay their taxes, who can't afford to go into education. What about that?
Infuriating.
What really pisses me off is now she wants to get she wants to go to law school.
Oh, are you? What?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Well, I mean, if that's what they do, that's what they do. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I officially lost my words.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if you want a good life, go to jail. Hell, I don't know. I mean, shit, what to do? Used to be you go to jail, you're on the chain gang. You're making license plates and shit like that, and you're lucky to get a sandwich during the day for crimes like that. But no,
I think they should bring that back.
Well, I mean, I guess movies like Legally Blonde kind of ruined it for me because I can't imagine law school without without that. But yeah, Legally Leilani doesn't quite flow as well, does it? I guess. Wow.
Well, I'm going to jump down, Brooks. I appreciate you for doing the show and keeping us all reminded of baby Quinton and the fact that this is not over yet. We still need to get justice for Quinton. Kat, I love listening to you speak. Thank you so much.
Nice to talk to you.
And I'm going to jump down. I love all you guys. Everybody take care and don't forget to give somebody a smile today. It may be the only one they ever get.
All right. I got a smile for you, girlfriend. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, honey.
I just love Angel. I do. And I love you, Kat. I love all of you. And yeah, of course, we're going to continue, covering Quinton because I about fell out of the damn bed yesterday when I was reading that article and I saw what they were waiting on. And I'm like,
wow.
Well,
that's so horrific. It's just.
But
and
again,
so have they actually set the trial date, Brooks?
No, there won't be. They can't set a trial date until they get the rest of the evidence back.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I just wondered. I didn't actually read the article. I couldn't open it, so I was relying on you to let me know.
That's the reason for my friends outside of America, I copy and paste now. But I do want to know where all the people are that were wanting justice and evidence and proof.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because they made enough noise about it at the time.
Never give up on Quinton. Well, I mean, we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
Can't do it every day. There's nothing to talk about every day. But I guarantee when something comes out, we will. But you guys are the absolute best. We have the best moderators around here, don't you think, Kat? Except our main moderator. She took today off, obviously.
I did. I had the day off work today. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Never. All right, before we go, one last word from Chief Hadley.
And we believe that this was the right move today to be able to do that. She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit. Quinton deserves that.
I like that guy.
I do too. And he caught hell. I mean, he caught hell for trying to do his job. But hey, you know, it happens. We all catch hell for doing our job from here and there. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Mod Squad. I know it got kind of crazy. Thank you, Angel, for coming up. Thank you for all the gifted memberships, super stickers, donating to the channel and keeping it going. Sorry, that broke Dick Greg doesn't pay for better StreamYard, but someday he'll get a better job. Who knows? But in the meantime, if I don't see you in Discord, one of the Facebook groups, or just talk to you one-on-one, I'll see you back here tomorrow. It won't be 9 a.m. because I have to go get my driver's license renewed. Yes, that's right, my friends. And I am going to try to look like I have a mugshot. Don't worry, I will share the picture with you. You guys are the absolute best. Love you to pieces. See you back here tomorrow. At what time? I don't know, but you will like the show.